Are the San Francisco 49ers on the brink of a major shakeup? With the salary cap looming, there are whispers about potential departures that could reshape the roster, including some fan favorites. Could we be saying goodbye to a player who has been a key part of our offense? Stay tuned, because we're diving deep into what this could mean for our beloved team. And don't forget to subscribe and hit that like button to keep up with all the latest 49ers news. Overthecap.com recently dropped a bombshell with their list of potential salary cap casualties for the San Francisco 49ers, naming 6 players who could be on the chopping block. Among them are some familiar faces, but the inclusion of Jauan Jennings really caught me off guard. This guy has been a fan favorite and had a breakout season in 2024, especially when he stepped up big time in the absence of Brandon Ayuk. If he hadn't suffered that unfortunate injury in Week 18, who knows? He could have been celebrating his first 1,000-yard season. Pro Football Focus even singled him out as the most improved player on the team, dubbing him a secret star. So, it's surprising to see him listed as a potential cap casualty, especially considering the extension he signed in May 2024, which keeps him under team control until 2025. With $117 million in guaranteed money for 2025, Jennings seems like a player the 49ers should want to keep around. But in this league, nothing is guaranteed. Do you think this was the best decision? Honestly, I'm torn. Now let's shift our focus to Debo Samuel. His name also popped up on this list, but it seems like the 49ers are planning to keep him for 2025. General Manager John Lynch made it clear that they see Samuel as an indispensable part of the team, and I can't argue with that. This guy has done so much for the organization. With nearly $16 million counting against the cap in 2025, it's a hefty price tag, but if he can continue to perform at a high level, that's an investment worth making. I mean, who wouldn't want a player of his caliber on the roster? And you, what do you think? I want to hear your opinions down below. Then there's Juszczyk, a name that always seems to pop up in salary cap discussions. As the highest paid fullback in the NFL, some argue that his role might be considered a luxury, especially with the looming contract extension for quarterback Brock Purdy. The decision about Juszczyk will be a tough one for the 49ers. He's a veteran leader and a versatile player, but can the team afford to keep him? He mentioned that there's a lot up in the air regarding contracts and who will be around next season. It's a delicate balance, and I can't help but feel for him. I want him to stay, but I also understand the business side of things. What do you think? Should they keep him, or is it time to move on? On the defensive side of the ball, we have Leonard Floyd and Yetur Gross-Matos, 2 players who were brought in last offseason to bolster the pass rush alongside Nick Bosa. Unfortunately, their performances didn't quite live up to expectations. The defense struggled, finishing 18th in the league in pass rushing, according to Pro Football Focus. Gross-Matos even missed some time due to injury, which hasn't helped his case. With Floyd and Gross-Matos underperforming, the 49ers might consider cutting ties to free up some cap space. It makes you wonder, can they find more effective options? 2024 has been a year filled with disappointment for the San Francisco 49ers. And as a die-hard fan, it's hard to digest the struggles of our key players. Let's dive into the 4 biggest letdowns this season and what it means for our beloved franchise moving forward. First on the list is Debo Samuel. This was perhaps the most predictable disappointment, right? We all heard the hype during training camp. Everyone was raving about how he looked in shape, how sweet his moves were on the field. But let's be real, hype from training camp often means nothing when the season kicks off. Samuel had what I can only describe as the worst season of his career. With an average of just 3.1 yards in separation, it's clear he wasn't the explosive playmaker we needed him to be. He struggled to make an impact as a wide receiver and didn't fare much better as a running back. This season, he managed only 2 runs over 10 yards, his lowest output since 2020 when he was barely on the field. It's frustrating to see a player with so much talent fall flat. The silver lining? Debo has a history of bouncing back after tough years. Here's hoping he finds his groove again in 2025. Next up is Ji'Ayir Brown. Coming into his second year, expectations were high for him, after showing flashes of brilliance as a rookie. Unfortunately, he completely fell short this season. His performances were lackluster, with his only standout moment being an interception against the Dallas Cowboys. And while a pick is great, it doesn't excuse the regression we witnessed. Brown struggled with tackling and took poor angles, leading to big plays against our defense. His position on the team is definitely up for debate going into next season. Can he turn it around? Time will tell, but right now it's hard to have faith. Then we have Brock Purdy. After an impressive 2023 where he was a finalist for the MVP and nearly led us to a Super Bowl victory, we expected Purdy to build on that. In momentum. Sadly, he didn't. Sure, injuries impacted his supporting cast, but that doesn't explain the poor decision-making and accuracy issues we saw this year. He held onto the ball too long and made questionable throws that cost us games. I want to believe in Purdy, I really do. He has the potential, but 2024 was a year of disappointment. He needs to come back strong in 2025 and really prove he can live up to the expectations. Last but certainly not least, we need to talk about Kyle Shanahan. With so many players underperforming, the head coach inevitably takes the fall. Shanahan had a rough year, to say the least. His play calling lacked identity, the team was undisciplined, and we watched too many opportunities slip through our fingers, leading to losses that could have been avoided. It starts from the top, and this season, it feels like he allowed chaos to reign. Shanahan needs to step up during the off-season, fix the mistakes, and get this team back on track. So, as we wrap up this disappointing season, I have to ask you, the fans, do you think these players can turn it around next year? Is Shanahan the right man to lead us out of this slump? Honestly, I'm torn. I want to believe in our team and our coaching staff. But after a year like this, it's tough. And you, what do you think? I want to hear your opinions down below. Let's keep this conversation going in the comments. If you enjoyed this breakdown and want to stay updated on all things 49ers, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. And remember to activate the notification bell to get all the latest updates. Here's to hoping for a brighter 2025 for our San Francisco 49ers.